Imagine, what is the most beautiful lie you've ever been told in your life? It's very likely this one: goodness will set you free. This phrase is like a piece of candy, shoved into your mouth since childhood. But what is the truth? It's that the virtue you've been so proud of, the very thing you use to define yourself, is likely nothing more than an incredibly sophisticated set of shackles you willingly put on. Think back. When you obeyed your parents and catered to your teachers, you were always met with praise. But when you tried to express your true thoughts, to pursue your heart's desires, weren't you always labeled as rebellious or selfish? Over time, you learned to package the fear of confrontation as humility, and to beautify the powerlessness of being unable to refuse others as thoughtfulness. The whole of society conspires to praise this kind of obedience. It worships the law-abiding cogs because cogs ensure the stable operation of the vast social machine. But at the same time, it fears and rejects the true engines from the bottom of its heart, because engines possess the formidable power to create new paths and even to derail the entire machine. This is precisely why Nietzsche's philosophy will make you feel a burning sensation. He is not a gentle comforter. He is a mirror that reflects the truth of your soul. He won't hand you a tissue. Instead, he forces you to face a cruel possibility. You have been striving to play the part of an impeccable good person, yet you may have never lived a single day for your true self. This is not an incitement to become ruthless, nor is it a validation of arrogance. Its goal is much more profound: to awaken the power and authenticity that lie dormant within you, long domesticated. For how long has that part of you that yearns to scream, to create, to break through all constraints, been bound by the seemingly magnificent chain of morality? Nietzsche would look you straight in the eye and tell you, then let it become dangerous. True strength is not about pruning yourself to fit others' expectations. It is like a flood, overflowing uncontrollably because it is full. Now let's confront the scene of the edifice that supports your beliefs crashing down. When everything collapses, what do you see? A deep, dizzying void. This is the true scene of Nietzsche's proclamation that God is dead. He wasn't engaging in a theological debate about whether deities exist. He was announcing the complete bankruptcy of a grand era, the era that provided you with standard answers, preset absolute morals, and planned out the entire meaning of your life. And you are standing alone in the middle of those ruins, formed by the fragments of absolute truth. Is it terrifying? Inevitably. But the greatness of Nietzsche lies in the fact that he simultaneously planted a seed full of infinite possibilities in these ruins. He called this seed the Übermensch. Please note, the Übermensch is not a comic book hero, nor is he a tyrant wielding power. He is the ultimate creator who, brick by brick, rebuilds his own value system upon this spiritual wasteland. He no longer begs the outside world for approval or meaning like a beggar, because he himself is the source of meaning. Sadly, too many people choose to linger halfway across the bridge that leads from animal to Übermensch. They cling tightly to the old, unexamined rules they've inherited, surviving day after day in a system that rewards conformity and punishes authenticity. To become the Übermensch, one must undergo a ritual of being consumed by fire, of burning the you, collectively defined by others' gazes and societal expectations, to ashes. This is undoubtedly painful, but you must understand, new life can only be born from the ashes of the old self in a phoenix-like rebirth. Now I want you to imagine a scale within your heart, with two distinctly different virtues placed on its two pans. On one pan of the scale lies the demanding type of virtue. It acts like a harsh creditor, making you carry a perpetual sense of guilt. It constantly questions you. Have you given enough? Do you appear selfless enough? On the surface, it shines with the halo of altruism, but at its core, it is filled with vanity and a desire to control the emotions of others. It is this virtue that forces you to nod with a weary smile when you want to shout a resounding no. Now look at the other pan. There lies the giving type of virtue described in chapter 22 of Thus Spoke Zarathustra. It does not come from scarcity or obligation. It originates from the abundance of life force. It is like the midday sun, pouring light and heat upon all things in the world, not because it has been assigned some sacred duty, but because radiating light and heat is its very nature. It gives simply because it cannot help but give. Its energy has overflowed to a point where it can no longer be contained. This power is so pure, so potent, that it scatters the seeds of both good and evil upon the world, for it never chooses, never judges, it simply flows. Now I ask you to look into your heart and ask yourself, on which side of the scale are you standing? However, Nietzsche's wisdom did not stop there. He coolly perceived that nothing in the universe can escape the grand cycle of life. Zarathustra, after pouring out his all and giving everything, made a startling choice. He left the crowd and returned to solitude. From a worldly perspective, isn't this a failed ending? The lonely retreat of a hero. But the truth is the exact opposite. This is the display of ultimate power. Imagine an engine that never shuts down, that never receives maintenance, running day and night without rest. Its end can only be to overheat and burn out. Your soul, your spiritual strength, is the same. Continuous giving, without the replenishment and repair of returning to silence, will ultimately lead you to desiccation, bitterness, and resentment. A true creator understands the ecstasy of giving, but more importantly, he understands how to withdraw at the appropriate moment, a sacred pause. This withdrawal is by no means weakness. It is the accumulation of energy for the next more violent, more brilliant bloom. Because the ego within us craves a perpetual stage and unceasing applause. But a truly free spirit knows deeply that all things flow, that life and death are a ceaseless cycle. Only by actively choosing to die can one welcome a true rebirth. So stop being afraid to press the pause button on your life. Stop being fearful of temporarily disappearing from the world's noisy stage. Zarathustra's silence was more deafening than all his words. It proclaimed a mature, confident, and all-knowing freedom. The culture we live in pathologically fears emptiness and tranquility. It madly worships noise, performance, and the state of being perpetually online. It wants you to be always useful, always on standby. If you are silent, you will be forgotten. If you retreat, you will be judged. But Nietzsche points you to another path, the path to the source of your inner strength. It cannot be found in a crowd. It can only be carved out in absolute quiet. Please remember this truth. Your value is not determined by your utility. You exist, even when you are doing nothing. You are whole, even when you are silent. Now, I want you to make a solemn promise to yourself, a conscious choice. Write this sentence in the comments. Let it become your declaration. I choose the silence that rebuilds me. Feel the resonance this sentence creates within you. See the others who, like you, are ready to return to their source to find their true power. If you are ready, then continue to the next video. Your arrival at this point, at this moment, is no accident.